This lesson is on related equations. In this lesson, we're going to look at equations and look at the numbers and eventually variables in our equations and see what the relationship is between the numbers. So here we're starting off with something very simple. 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. How can we rewrite that? We could say that 2 is equal to 6 minus 4. We could also say that 4 is equal to 6 minus 2. So there's different ways that we can rewrite that. And whenever we look at these numbers that we are very familiar with, we've been working with these since probably kindergarten. We can look at these numbers here and it makes a lot of sense to us. So what if I said x plus 2 is equal to 6? How can we rewrite that relationship? We could say x is equal to 6 minus 2. We could also say that 2 is equal to 6 minus x. And if we look at this second box here and compare to the first, it's the same exact concept. It's just now we're looking at equations that have variables in them. And so if you look at this second box, we have x plus 2 is equal to 6. If we subtract 2 from both sides, we end up with x is equal to 6 minus 2. Let's look at this a little closer. Okay, here's our equation again. Here we have x plus 2 is equal to 6. Let's subtract 2 from both sides of our equation. If you do the same thing to both sides of two things that are equal, they remain the same. So if you add 4 is equal to 4 and you add 2 to both sides, you're still keeping a true statement. So therefore, we can subtract 2 from both sides of our equation with a variable in it. We have x plus 2 minus 2. If you have x dollars and you add $2 but take $2 away, you're left with x is equal to 6 minus 2. So therefore, x equals 6 minus 2 is a related equation to x, get my pencil here, x plus 2 is equal to 6. So they are related equations. You could also say 2 is equal to 6 minus x. Remember those relationships between those numbers. Many of you may have had relationship triangles, and I know that my own children had these, and they would look like this. And you would say, okay, here's a plus, a minus, and a minus. So you have 6 minus 4 gives you 2, 6 minus 2 gives you 4, 2 plus 4 gives you 6. So there's that relationship between these numbers here. You can do the same thing for x, 2, and 6. So you can say x plus 2 gives you 6. 6 minus x gives you 2. 6 minus 2 gives you x. So you can set it up like this, and you can very easily see the visual relationship between 6, x, and 2. Okay, here we have another equation, and we have to write the related equation for this group of numbers. Let's use the same triangle method and see what related equations we can come up with. We have 8 minus x gives us 4. So therefore, x plus 4 must give us 8. So x plus 4 gives us 8. And x minus 4 gives us x. So 8 minus 4 would give us x. 8 minus 4 gives us x. So if you're having trouble figuring out the relationship there, try the triangle method and see if that gives you a visual clue. A lot of us are visual learners. I know that myself included, I am a visual learner. So I have to see diagrams sometimes, and it really makes a lot more sense to me. In some of the problems, it asks you to get your variable alone. So you want your variable to be on one side of the equation and your numbers on the other side. So let's set up our triangle here, and we have 40 minus f gives us 27. And we always do our plus at the bottom there. So f plus 27 gives us 40. 40 minus 27 gives us f. So f is equal to 40 minus 27. And then we can easily solve that as well. So f is equal to 13. So if this triangle method helps you, try to set each one of your problems up like that and to really look at the relationship between those numbers. Let's look at a problem with multiplication now. We have 3 times 6 is equal to 18. And whenever we look at problems like this, this concept really does make a lot more sense. We can say 3 is equal to 18 divided by 6, or we could say 6 is equal to 18 divided by 3. So there's that relationship there between the numbers. We can also set multiplication and division up as a triangle. So we put 18 at the top, divided by 3 gives us 6. 18 divided by 6 gives us 3. 3 times 6 gives us 18. So if we can set our numbers up in this relationship here, we can find all of our related equations. So we could say 18 divided by 3 gives us 6, or 18 divided by 6 gives us 3. Let's try it with a variable equation. Okay, here we have x divided by 4 is equal to 12. We want to write our related equations. So let's set up our triangle. We have x divided by 4 is going to give us 12. So we're going to put x at the top this time. It's the one doing the dividing. X divided by 4 gives us 12. X divided by 12 would give us 4. And then we do multiplication at the bottom of our triangle. So 4 times 12 would give us x. So now we can write all of our related equations. We have x divided by 4 is equal to 12 already. Now we're going to do x divided by 12 is equal to 4. So x divided by 12 is equal to 4. And then you can also do 4 times 12 is equal to x. So 4 times 12 is equal to x. Later on in our course this year, we're going to learn how to use inverse operations to solve these equations as well. But for now, this gives you a very good basis for inverse operations and solving more complicated equations later on. Okay, here we have our x in our denominator, and that can look a little confusing if you don't know the relationship between the numbers. So let's set up our triangle. We have 32 divided by x, so 32, whatever number is going to do the dividing goes on top. 32 divided by x gives us 4. So that means 32 divided by 4 is going to give us x. X times 4 is going to give us 32. So another related equation would be 32 divided by 4 would give us x. And then we have 4 times x gives us 32. Okay, this time we're starting off with multiplication. We have 3 times n is equal to 39. Now, to set up that relationship on our triangle, we're going to say 3 times n gives us 39. So times goes on the bottom, division along the sides. So we can also say 39 divided by 3 gives us n. We could also say that 39 divided by n will give us 3. And you have your related equations. So the triangle works with both multiplication and division, as well as addition and subtraction. Let's look just very quickly here at how to set up our triangles to find our related equations. If we have addition and subtraction, we want to find our related equations. So we're going to say 3 plus x at the bottom of our triangle. So addition goes at the bottom, and then subtraction goes along the sides. So 3 plus x gives us 8. And then for our other one here, we have 4 times 6. So multiplication goes at the bottom, and then we have our division along the sides.